All right, started day 3, $1,710.
Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I didn't record earlier this morning. It's about 10:30 right now. We did get the email sent out for this morning for the morning side of everything. We got an hour until the second set of emails goes out. I've had a few responses. Same issue as yesterday where people were saying that they don't service the area. So instead of just saying thanks for the response or whatever, I went ahead and I asked them, I said, hey, if we were to expand into your service area in the near future, is this something that you might be interested in? And they said, yeah, please reach out when you do expand. So I said, great. So that gives me kind of like a validation that if I do expand into those bigger cities, that I already do have some people I can reach out to that I've talked to already. Throughout the day, in between like my military side of things that I gotta get done, I'm gonna try to get some phone calls for you guys. So I'm gonna try to call some of these businesses. I did actually have one about probably 30 minutes ago. They called me, I guess. I don't know, it was for an entry I didn't send an email to yet, so I don't know why they called me, but I guess I did something on their website where they called me asking what I was requesting for on the website, and I was just saying that I was trying to get in contact with the owner or the marketing department or whatever it is. So I got the contact information for that person. It was just an email, they don't give out the phone number. So I sent their CEO an email, where they're small business owners, so I sent the owner the email, and then we're just waiting on them to reach back out. So as soon as I find some downtime throughout the middle of the day, I'll go ahead and start calling some companies for you guys. I'll try to see if I can get somebody on the phone. If not, I'll kind of just do like a time lapse or B-roll of me just dialing numbers all day long. Again, volume is going to be the answer here. A lot of people, they're not going to pick up, they're not going to respond, or they're just going to be like, no, I'm not interested, or you might not even be able to get in contact with the owner. So volume is key. That's going to solve pretty much all of your problems and anything you do. So. All right, we're getting the last emails sent out. So we've sent, what was it? I think we've already done 20 today. This is gonna be the last set of 10, so that's gonna be another 30. Again, a lot of people are saying like, why am I not doing more? The reason is because if you do too many up front with a new email, it'll kind of flag as a spam email, and it'll just go to their spam instead of going to their actual inbox. So because of the building stages, we kind of got to work our way up. And at that level, we're gonna send 30 emails at once, multiple times a day, and then maybe create more email accounts. That's more to manage and stuff. So today we've been doing a lot of cold calling. We've called a lot of companies. Every single company that we've already emailed, we've called them. The only problem is that we keep getting like just random employees that are answering the phone instead of like the actual owners. So whenever we get on the phone with those guys, I'm just asking to make sure they actually service the county that I'm gonna be marketing in. And for the ones that do not service the county, then I'll still get the contact information for either the owner or whoever runs their marketing department. And then I'll reach back out later on when I move into those counties that they're in. But for the ones that do service the counties that I'm in, I am getting that contact information for the owner. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be an email. I think out of 2 of the 30 some of the people that I called, I got a phone number. So other than that, I mean, we're just gonna re-email the CEOs directly with the same email that I sent to the original one, which is usually just like requesting information for a service, which is, if that's the only email I can find, that's the only one I'm gonna send it to. It gets me a foot in the door, so somebody will reach out or whatever. But yeah, we'll just go from here. Tomorrow's gonna be a lot more cold calling. I'll probably email a bunch of people tomorrow the same way, and then call everybody that I've emailed, so I can just say, hey, I sent you guys an email. I'm not sure if you saw it. I just sent it, so I don't expect that you did see it, but I'll just go from there. Yeah, so the next time you guys see me, I'll probably be at the office. I'm about to pack up everything up on my computer, all the camera and all that stuff. I'm gonna go grab some food, maybe like some late lunch or dinner or whatever it is. I'm not really too sure what I'm gonna get yet, but I'll grab that. I'll probably eat, go to the office, and then from there, I might do a few more calls depending on the time and the hours of some of these companies. And then I'm just gonna take a step back and I'm gonna look at all the stuff that we've done so far. As far as like the flyers, the payment systems, all of that stuff, I'm gonna go double check all that. It's been a couple days since I looked at it. So now that I've had a few days to kind of reset my brain on what all that looks like, I can go back, look at it. I might find some stuff I wanna change. I've been getting a lot of feedback from the first video that we posted for day 1, and that's in the community and everything. So I'm gonna take some of that feedback. I'm gonna go back to those. I'm gonna kind of like play around with some stuff, see if we can't make it a little bit better, see if we can't reword it a little bit, and then go from there, yes. Right now, I'm kind of just working on some of the flyers and stuff that we're using. I just finished watching a video that Mitchell put up on his channel about running Facebook ads. So I kind of went down with that. I took some notes. I may look into that next week. If this week doesn't go too well with like the cold calling and the prospecting and everything, I might start running Facebook ads. I mean, why not? It can't hurt. It's only $10 a day, at least for the way that I would set it up. But right now I'm just kind of going over some of the stuff, some of the feedback I got in the group yesterday after the other video went up. Just on some things that could be reworded in the initial flyer that I showed you guys in the first video. Some of that was kind of just under like changing for the promotions, changing it from subscriptions to mailings, just because it sounds a little less like negative, I guess. I don't really know. But I think it does make sense changing that word. So that's one of the ones. Like, so now I have, instead of 3 month subscription, is 3 months of mailings. It sounds a little bit easier in the ears, I guess. And then some other stuff that I could change, like just little small wording things that would make everything a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more less salesy, I guess. So that's what we're doing now. As soon as I finish that, I'll go ahead and flip the camera around and show you guys. You might not even remember what I put in the first video, but at least you'll see kind of like how I'm wording everything. All right, so I know that you said that you're still a relatively new business. So what exactly are the goals that you're looking to achieve, just so I can make sure that I'd even be able to help you in the first place?
Yeah, so I'm just looking around trying to see what my options would be, and ultimately I want to attract more people to my business, and I feel like I'm doing pretty well for where I'm at right now, considering I started the business back in January. I'm just kind of curious to see what else I could do to kind of put myself out there and attract more people.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely. I can definitely help with that. Have you looked into any other type of marketing yet? Like maybe any type of mail marketing or something online like Facebook or Instagram or anything?
Yeah, I've kind of looked at a few different marketing options. Some of them definitely caught my eye, but honestly, most of them were too expensive and a little out of my price range for where I'm at right now. So I'm kind of just feeling the air and looking around and see what else I can find.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear that a lot. And I even had that same problem when I was looking at marketing one of my other businesses. So the good thing about this giant postcard, right, it's going to be a community mailer. So it's going to be huge. It's about 12 inches by 9 inches. And essentially what we're doing is we're renting out that space to multiple businesses. So since you're sharing that space with 18 other businesses or companies, we're able to get that price down significantly. So usually with direct mail marketing, it would cost about $1 per household. So if you're trying to reach 5,000 homes, that would be around $5,000. But with us, we're really only charging 12 cents per home since you are sharing that space. So it's significantly less money to be able to reach the same amount of homes.
Okay, so I actually spoke to a guy in town that's offering a similar service. And he said he was able to put my ad in a local magazine for a relatively cheap price. So is that the same thing you're doing now?
No, not necessarily. So with the magazine, he's going to have, I'm assuming he's probably going to have like 4 or 5 pages in there. So instead of just 18 companies, you're probably getting put in there with over most likely 100 or 200 different companies in the area, or like little small businesses. So I mean, with us, like if you're coming on as a smoothie shop, right, there's not going to be any other smoothie shops that are on the magazine. You'll be the only one, or not in the magazine, but the postcard, you'll be the only one on the postcard. With the magazine, I highly doubt if he's putting that many people inside of a magazine that there's going to be exclusivity. So you can expect to see a lot of other smoothie shops. Not only that, but your ad's going to be a lot smaller. People typically are not going to look through the magazines from me just talking around with family and just growing up and seeing those when I grew up. I don't ever remember my parents really looking at it. They were just throwing them away. And with that too, like the chance of your ad even being seen amongst the hundreds of others, not including the competition that you'll have in there, that's one thing that we do have the upper hand on, is that we are able to provide that exclusivity where you'll be the only one. And then you're kind of being highlighted in the community, so it builds a little bit more of a brand reputation for you as well. And then because that postcard is about 12 inches by 9 inches, it really just stands out in the mailbox. It's going to be bigger than anything else. So Usually what we see the postal workers doing is they'll kind of fold, or not really fold it, but they'll kind of wrap the rest of the person's mail up in our postcard. So our postcard will be kind of circled up inside of the mailbox with all of their mail inside, so there's no way they can miss it. So they're basically forced to look at it no matter what. And that's still going out to 5,000 people that are going to be targeted homes. So we don't even know if the guy with the magazine, if he's going to be targeting homes or not, or if he's just sending it to as many people as possible. So that is a little bit of a difference there.
Oh, okay. That definitely sounds nice. How many new customers could I reasonably expect to gain from something like this with your company?
Yeah, so we don't necessarily guarantee a certain amount of customer increase, right? Because I can't really control like what the person does when they see the ad. But what I do guarantee is that you will reach 5,000 homes, and you got to think between most of those homes are probably going to be a husband and a wife, maybe have some teenagers. You're going to be seeing, or a lot of different eyes are going to be seeing your advertisement, and it's going to have a bunch of other different companies too. So there's going to be something that they kind of put up on their fridge, so they might not come right away, but maybe if they look at it later on down the road, they'll come back. And then also too, that all just depends on the ad. So if you decided you wanted to do like a promotional deal, where they can bring that postcard in, or at least bring in a picture of it, and then maybe get like a percentage off of like an order, or get something free with an order, then that could definitely increase the amount of people coming in that see this.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. So would I need to provide an advertisement for my business, or is that something y'all could help me out with? Just because I'm still trying to create one for my own, and talking to different people on how to create one and stuff.
Yeah, no, so we have an in-house design team that kind of just takes care of everything. So that's already included in the price, so it's not going to cost anything extra. Pretty much after the invoice is paid, then I'll send you a follow-up email just asking some general questions about the business, like contact information, any social media pages or anything like that. That way I can give that over to the design team so they can kind of look around at your stuff, figure out your brand colors, get your logo and things like that, and make you a pretty good advertisement. And also if you wanted to put like a promotional deal on there, they can do that as well. And then even if you decide not to use this for another month, you'll still have that ad that you can use for any other types of advertisements too, and we're not going to charge you for that.
No way. Okay, that sounds
Yep.
really cool.
Yep.
So with the postcard, is that something I would have to? Is that like a one-time purchase, or would it just run monthly?
No, so you can do it monthly if you wanted to. Typically, a lot of people on their first time, they're just going to do it once to try it out. But one thing I do always like to let people know is that it does take multiple points of contact in order for someone to actually turn into a client. So just seeing something one time isn't going to get something or somebody to come in. It's going to be multiple times, like around like 5 or 6 times, where they're going to need to see something in order to actually get into the business. So sometimes you might have to do the ads for 2 or 3 months to actually start to see really, really good results. And obviously you'll start to see some results within the first month, but where it really starts to kick in is after they've seen you a few times highlighted in the local community. That's going to start to build that trust up. That's going to start to get them on your mind. They'll start noticing your business when they drive past it. They'll start noticing any other ads that you might be doing. And that'll really get the people to come in about 2 or 3 months from now. So it's really up to you. If you do decide to do more than 1 month, we do have discounts on that in 3-month increments. And that's something that we can figure out on the back end as well. But yeah, if this is your first time, you can either go with the 3-month mailings, which will give you a 5% discount, or you can just try it with the 1 month and see how it goes, see how you like it, see how the ad works out. And then if you like it after that, then you can continue on if the spot's not already filled up by someone else.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if I were to go with the 3-month, what would the price point look like? Just because price-wise, for an advertisement, I think I would want to be somewhere around $500. Just because I'm trying to be smart about where I'm investing my money right now, especially since I'm also just trying to get started with the business still.
Okay, yeah, so you said $500 where you want to be at, and that's per month or just for the 3 months total?
Per month that sounds reasonable.
Okay, yeah, so I think the best option that I'm able to provide for you is we have the full size ad option, which is going to be 3 inches by 4 inches and we charge $600 for that. And that's going to be about 12 cents per home for 5,000 homes. So that one has about 8 spaces on the card. It's pretty good for showcasing services or products. And it has a pretty decent amount of room for eye-catching visuals. Think like 2 business cards stacked on top of each other. That's about the size of that one. So if you wanted to do, let me do some quick math. You said you were looking at 3 months, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that one's $600 a month. And so after the discount, that would be $1,710. And then we can either do that where you pay that all up front, or we can set it up on a recurring thing for the next 3 months, and you'll still get the discount either way.
Okay, nice. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty great so far, and I'm definitely interested. So what would the steps be to get started? What would I need to do?
Yeah, so right after we get off the phone, or even while we're still on the phone, actually, I would just type up the invoice and I would go ahead and send that to you. And then once that invoice gets paid, I'll send you the follow-up email asking for all the information for the design team to be able to put everything together, as far as like the promo deals and everything else that I mentioned before. And then from there, our first postcard is going to go out on the 1st of August. So it'll just be a waiting game. And then obviously there'll be communication in between where we're going to send you the advertisement beforehand to make sure you approve it. And if you don't like it, you have unlimited revisions up until the day that we send everything to print. So once everything gets sent to print, there's no more revisions that are able to be made. So right now, since we're still in the early June timeframe, you have plenty of time before that 1st of August shows up.
Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Alrighty, perfect. I'll go ahead and I'll get that sent over to you. Let me get this typed up really quick. And did you want to do all 3 months up front, or did you want to set that up for like a recurring type thing?
I think I want to do the recurring payments for the 3 months.
Okay, let me get that set up really quick. And then I'll give you the 5% discount. So that'll bring it to, let's see. That's going to be $570 a month. So you're saving about $90 total.
Okay, nice.
And then I just got that sent over to your email. Can you check to see if you got that really quick?
1 second. Yes, it looks like I got it.
Okay, perfect. So as soon as you finish that out, I'll go ahead and I'll send you the follow-up email, and then we'll start working on the advertisement. How's that sound?
That sounds great. I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
All right, perfect. Thank you. I hope you have a great day, and then we'll stay in touch.
Okay, thanks.
All righty. Good night. All right, guys, we ended the night on a good note. That was about 8:30 when that business owner called me. And that was somebody that we emailed earlier today, actually. In the email at the very end, when I'm signing off the email with like my name and the email and all that stuff, I always put my phone number, and I always tell them that they can call me any time of day and I'll answer. And like, I quite literally, like, dude, if you call me at 2 a.m. and it's about me making money or you paying me money, I'm definitely going to answer the phone, right? Even if it's like just a chance, right? So yeah, so she called at around 8, I think it was like just past 8:30, I believe. So she also did a 3-month plan. So that's $1,710. And so it brought the price from $600 a month to, $570 a month, which is still relatively good on her end and on my end as far as profits go. So that'll be a recurring customer. And if we can get her some pretty good business, especially with like working the design and all that stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and get on a phone call with her probably tomorrow after the emails to kind of dial in exactly what she wants on the ad and try to figure out like a good promo. She's relatively new in business, so she's still kind of learning everything. So my main goal is to give like the best customer service possible. So if somebody does come along after me, like she knows that at least the customer service won't be beat. So that's going to be one thing too. A lot of communication between the ad and like the process of everything. So when it's actually going to print, or when the ad's done, getting that approved, any revisions that she might need, getting those done in a timely manner. And then also keeping her updated with when it's going to print, when it's done printing, getting those pictures out to her so she can see that it was printed. And this is with all the customers as well, all the clients. And then like letting them know when it's been shipped at the USPS office, when the USPS office has shipped that out, and when it should be arriving at the homes. I think that would do really well as long as we can get her some good results. She'll come back for another 3 months or possibly even 6 months or a year. So, hey, good work today. You know, we made some progress, made some success. That was a pretty good little sale for a full-size slot. So yeah, we're gonna keep doing the same thing tomorrow. Like I said yesterday, this is gonna be like a really fun part of the business. If you're constantly getting calls like this, I mean, that's super fun because you're just making money all day long. But it can also be a very boring part of the business because you got to realize, like, most of the day, 99% of the day, I'm sitting there typing an email and just sending it, and I'm just waiting. Or I'm like calling the phones, and then 9 times out of 10, you're just getting some random employee, not the actual owner. Maybe I'm doing that wrong. So also too, if you know how to actually find the owner information rather than just looking up the business on Google or Facebook and then getting their business information, because when I do that, I'm just getting in contact with like employees or not even like the CEO emails or whatever. So if you know how I can get in contact with like the actual business owner without having to go through like the pipeline of employees and stuff, definitely put that in the comments because I think that would help a lot just so I can learn to do it. I mean, even next time I'm still going to outsource it anyways, but I would still like to know how to do that as well. That way I can help other people around me that are trying to get into this. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's a pretty good day. Tomorrow, we're going to hope and pray for the same thing. So just follow along the journey, and then we'll see how it goes. See you guys tomorrow.